Welcome back to another Crypto Gorilla video. Today we're going to be taking a look at what is coming up in the future that I'm excited for, mainly tokens as well as airdrops. I'm going to discuss my airdrop strategy. NFTs have been quite boring. There is one today that we're going to take a look at. I've been pretty bored with the market overall. I'm really looking forward to some of the airdrops that are coming up, like Friend Tech, as well as things like ZK Sync and Layer 0. As usual, nothing in this video is financial advice. It is just my opinion, which can be totally wrong. So always do your own research. So let's first start off with some tokens. There's two sides of it, right? I feel that a lot of us are just waiting for these tokens that were supposed to drop in Q1 to drop. We're in the middle of Q2 and they haven't dropped yet. And then on the other side of it, because none of these tokens have dropped, at least for me, I get like 3 to 5 offers to invest in games every single day, and I feel the gaming market is becoming extremely oversaturated, at least until we see some home runs launch. Now, we did see a couple of gaming tokens launch. We had Play Mojo, we had games.gg, both of which I invested in. I am very bullish on these projects. However, I feel they didn't perform as well as I would have hoped them to. The play really was to sell on TGE very close to when the token dropped, because they have just trickled down, because then you are either break even or even in profit, and the 90% of your tokens that are locked you can hold for absolutely free. Now, like I said, I'm bullish on these projects. I don't plan on selling my unlocks. I'm just going to hold them into the bull run, especially for games.gg. I do feel this is a $1 plus token, but it's obviously not encouraging to people who bought in on the secondary market and are currently down. Now, the other thing that did not help at all was the launch of Block Games. It did underperform both on the secondary market as well as their token airdrop. A lot of people were upset about that, and I feel it not only took away confidence for some of these upcoming IDOs, but also for NFTs that are going to have a token airdrop. Now, there's a few reasons for this, one of them being that we had really high expectations, which we're responsible for, but it doesn't help that a lot of people were manipulating prices on Whales Market. We pretty much can't trust what we see on Whales Market, and there was a lot of arbitrage opportunities if you were selling tokens that you didn't even need to hold. But if we look at Block Games, or I don't just want to pick on Block, there's a lot of projects that were selling for way higher than the token launched for on the secondary market, and some of that responsibility falls on teams. I met teams in Dubai that admitted to me straight up they were buying on Whales Market, and they were manipulating the prices to make their project seem way more hyped than it actually was. So I do feel we're going to need a really big win in order to restore some of this confidence in the market. We did get a win with the launch of My Pet Hooligan and their KARRAT Token, which performed incredibly well. This is one that I had mentioned multiple times in videos, that I bought their NFTs to get exposure to the airdrop, which played out amazingly because I bought some that had been staked for a while, which is also something I spoke about, right? I paid a premium to get S-carrots on them, and it paid out tremendously because I got a 5-figure airdrop for 3 NFTs, which, by the way, I'm still holding my airdrop. I'm still holding my 3 hooligans, and I'm still holding my Zuckbots because I believe this team has a ton planned for us. But all this to say, even though My Pet Hooligan performed incredibly well, I guess it's because of how they did it. They came out as like this stealth launch, even though they launched through Coinbase, which is incredibly hard to do due to Coinbase being in US and there's a lot of legal constraints. They did no social farming or any botting or anything like that, and they performed really well. I guess it's because they were like a stealth drop, but it did not restore that market confidence. So I think one project that can do it, which I'm really hopeful for, is Pixelmon. Now, you guys know I'm an ambassador for Pixelmon. I did the investment into their token, both the KOL round as well as the public presale, and I'm currently holding something like 6 Pixelmon NFTs worth over $30,000. So right, I'm both bullish and biased on Pixelmon, but I do believe they will be one of the projects that actually does deliver, and that they're going to launch with a 1 billion plus FDV, maybe even 2 bill if they do launch through something like Binance, which, just because I'm an ambassador, I do not have secret info. Nobody knows except for Binance and maybe 1 or 2 people on the Pixelmon team if they're actually going to be launching through that exchange. But I do expect this airdrop to be very good for NFT holders, especially since they're going to be getting a 16.7% unlock unlock on day one. However, it doesn't end just there, because if you've been following the Mon Protocol Twitter page, you've seen that they've partnered with something like 30 projects, maybe even more by now. I haven't counted, but they are partnering with a ton of projects to give Mon stakers airdrops for those tokens. This is why they are calling it the ETF of gaming, because holding the Mon token gets you exposure to a ton of projects. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be airdropped $50,000 for staking $1,000 of Mon token. However, if we compare it to Memeland, who just had their first token airdrop for stakers, I was staking around $5,000. I only burnt 69% of my stakes, and I received an RSIC airdrop of $600. So let's say Mon stakers get even just 25% of this per token with 30 plus tokens, and they're going to continue to partner with more and more tokens. That's going to be $150 per token times 30. That's $4,500 for absolutely free, just for staking a token I got airdropped for free. So again, I'm super bullish on this project, and I do have a lot of faith that they will break this curse of recent projects and perform incredibly well. Now, other than that, one token that I'm looking forward to hopefully launching in the near future is Nyan Heroes. Now, they're going to be launching their token on IMX. Their game reminds me a lot of Overwatch, except all the characters are cats, but this is one that I'm looking forward to. I even invested in this project. It's just hard to tell with a project that's one individual game versus an infrastructure play, right? In terms of how they're going to perform. Now, speaking of infrastructure plays, another project that I just invested in publicly, which you can still get into. If you're watching this video within the first 24 hours, there is still a chance to invest if you feel like investing, right? I get no benefits from you investing. If anything, you are taking away a chance for me to get in, because a lot of my entries are actually in the raffle, and that project is Ultiverse. Now, I did post about this one today on Twitter. If you do manage to hit, or if you had the golden ticket that gets you a guaranteed allocation here, you are going to get an NFT, which you can burn for 50,000 Ulti tokens, which you're going to get a 15% unlock on day one, and then you have 15 months of vesting. However, I did do some calculations here, and based on where you think we can land, this is how much your investment would be worth. So if we do make it to 1 billion FDV, that is where you break even on TGE, so on day one. However, I feel too many people expect every single project to go to 1 bill FDV, which that doesn't happen unless the project is super bullish, which I'm not saying this isn't, or unless you launch through a tier 1 exchange like Binance. Now, for me personally, I just hope we land at like 600 mil FDV, which would be between these two. So it would take you roughly 2 months to break even. And one thing I've realized is I was way too obsessed with breaking even on TGE, but with projects like this that have no cliff, so you just start getting money, you get money at TGE. I like the TGE unlocks, and then you just start getting money every month. If it takes you like 2 months to break even, that's still a really good investment, because after 2 months, you could put your capital back to work, and then you have like 80% that is unlocked over time. That is pure profits. So I think it's very possible that this project hits a 600 mil FDV. That would only be a 4x from where they are raising at right now at 150 mil FDV. And if you look at their Twitter bio, they are backed by both Binance and Sequoia. And obviously, a lot of people think this means they're 100% going to launch through Binance. That's not what it means. Binance still has a lot of strict criteria you need to hit, but obviously, at least I feel it does increase their odds of launching through Binance, or at least being listed on Binance. Next up, one that I'm looking forward to is, of course, Bloodloop. I did invest in this one. I know Becker has been shilling it a ton. The game is really fun. I've played it multiple times, and it is, of course, being incubated by Seedify. Unfortunately, we still don't know when it is going to be launching. However, speaking of Seedify, we have a few projects that are launching this week. We have Haven's Compass, which is a first-person shooter game. This is the private round, so you're going to need to be tier 6 or above in order to invest. They will have a public round in early May that you can get into if you are an S Fund holder and staker. However, one public round that you can get into is Style Protocol. Now, this is a gaming and Web3 infrastructure play, but what I always say with these Seedify public rounds is it is a no-brainer to enter because of their refund policy. They have a 7-day money-back guarantee, so I just invest in all of these because you are guaranteed your money if you aren't satisfied with the investment. Now, other than that, there are two other projects you should be paying attention to, and that is Wisdomize as well as Legion Ventures. And if you are staking S Fund, you need to register for these IDOs before May 1st for Legion and before May 5th for Wisdomize. I'm especially interested in Wisdomize because this is an AI trading platform and AI projects have been all the rage. So it's definitely one that I'm going to full send for. And the last thing that I mentioned here is an NFT project. This one is Paradise Tycoon. It's a multiplayer where you can build up your own island, and they will be having a free mint. It has a low supply of 1,500. It is dropping on May 3rd. So again, free mint. It's a no-brainer to mint if you have whitelist, and I typically just hold this stuff until some sort of token airdrop. But other than that, some other projects that I've been waiting for, you have things like Chronoforge, we have things like Well3, which has been a very long time coming. I've invested into both of those, so I do hope they perform well. But outside of tokens, NFT wise, the market has been quite boring. I know we just had a bounce in ETH NFTs. Everybody was talking like we're so back. On my Friday stream, I did mention that I feel this is more like a pump and dump than we're so back. As you can see, apes went from, they were at around 13. The low was at 10 ETH, but they went from 13 ETH all the way up to 17, which I did mention. I feel it's like a pump and dump. And of course, if you bought up here, you got absolutely wrecked. We are currently back down to 13 ETH. I don't think it's the end of the world. I do expect ETH NFTs and apes to come back, but I don't expect ETH NFTs to come back until people feel rich again. We need the crypto market and altcoins to take off. Then money is going to flow into ETH NFTs, not before, at least in my opinion. As for mints that I'm looking forward to, we do have one today, which is Palio. It's an AI/gaming play, which I do believe is going to perform well. By the time you watch this video, it might have already minted, so you can go double check. And if it didn't perform well, you can let me know in the comments down below. However, I was also farming the airdrop for this because they give you points for farming it, which are going to get you access to the Exterio airdrop. Now, the Palio campaign has closed by the time you're watching this video. However, it's a great segue into the final part of the video, which are airdrops. Now, I do feel there's 3 different categories of airdrops that we can talk about. The first one is easy/free airdrops, which are typically the SocialFi campaigns where you have to like and retweet and follow pages, as well as things like login daily and spin a wheel or click some buttons. The second category are games. So this requires you to invest time into a game to level up, to collect gear, whatever it is. And finally, you have what I call like the real airdrops. Even though all this stuff is real, these are the blockchain airdrops, the layer 2s, the ones where you have to spend money on transaction fees, you have to bridge, you have to have volume, right? These are the ones that require a lot of tasks over time. It's going to be multiple months of grinding. So let's start with the first category, which is the free/easy airdrops. Some that I have been doing are, which I covered in my previous videos, are things like Mon Protocol, Pixel Pals, which the first season of Pixel Pals is ending in just a couple of days, and they're going to introduce additional features like the dual mode. There's also revolving games. These ones are super easy, and my method here is I have a morning routine. Every morning after like looking at DMs and stuff like that, for 10 minutes, I just open all of these in tabs and I go through each one, clicking all the buttons, following new accounts, spinning the wheels, planting my seeds in Pixel Pals, whatever it is. It's super quick. You shouldn't have to think about it. If you're spending 20 minutes doing a single one, I feel like you're wasting your time. So it should be really quick, and it should be just a routine that is second nature to you. You just click, 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 boom, it's done. Now, all this is free to do, so I don't expect to receive thousands of dollars from doing this, but even if I get a few $100s, I do feel it's worth it. Now, one that just dropped yesterday is RumbleKong with their Fame token. token, and this one's super easy to do. You just click play the game. It's going to run you through this little game. Then you're going to get some tokens, which you can use in this machine to forge different gear. So here I'm going to forge something with my tokens, and boom, I just got a helmet. I actually didn't have this one, so I'm happy I got it. It's an epic, so it's more rare. And then if I go to my inventory, you can see I have a ton of gear that I have forged. So let's just put on the gear that I just received. I'm missing one item. I got to get it. But this is gear that you're going to be able to use in their game. However, if you go on the right side here, this is where you're going to be getting more tokens and farming their airdrop. So you have the typical refer friends, which I'll put my referral link in the description down below, but you also have the socialify stuff, which is like follow this page on social media, like and retweet this post. You know the drill by now. Now the campaign, at least this part of it, is only lasting 8 more days by the time you're watching this video. So it is going to be very quick. So I do suggest doing it because I did speak with the team and they did confirm that the tokens that you get are going to have a direct correlation to your airdrop. Now, no, you don't need to hold on to the tokens. You can spend them on the merch and they will still count even though you spent them. So I've just been accumulating all these items and trying to unlock them all in case they have additional airdrops based on which items you've accumulated. So this is a project I'm bullish on. I know Becker mentioned it in a couple of videos. They also just announced a partnership with Gatorade. If we go back into the items here, you can see that this is the official Gatorade logo, right? So it's an official partnership with Gatorade and not just something minor, which in my opinion is really bullish for this project. Moving on into the second category, we have games that you can grind, and one that I'm looking forward to is the Machines Arena. Now it's already available to play through the Epic Game Store on your PC. This is a top-down roguelike game. However, the airdrop campaign is not live yet, but like we just saw with RumbleKong, some of these campaigns only last 1 to 2 weeks. So I felt it was good to bring it to you now. That way, when it does finally launch, you guys are going to be ready. Now, right now in the store, they do have some free items that you can claim. So it's worth downloading it just to claim those items in case it does have future benefits. But we also have a little bit of info on their airdrop, and they do mention you're going to be getting airdrop allocation by playing, minting, creating content, and participating in the ecosystem. So when it comes to this game stuff, you are going to have to actually play the games. So if you're not into games, or if you don't like the game in particular, even though you're going to be getting an airdrop from it, I don't feel it's worth doing if you don't like the game, because then 1, it's like work. 2, we have no idea how good the airdrop is actually going to be. And 3, if you're not enjoying it, like why even do it? Just go do something else. Go, I don't know, trade meme coins or like grind something else, or go play a Web 2 game. Now, as for this project, I am very bullish on it. I'm trying to get the token investment. And one of the reasons for this is it's on Ronin, and Ronin has a cult-like community that just goes all in and rallies behind all the games that they drop. And if we look at some of the most recent launches, we had Pixels, which performed incredibly well. I believe this hit up to a 4 billion FDV, currently sitting at 2 billion. We also had Aperon, which at one point was above 1 billion, currently sitting at roughly 500 million FDV. This isn't a knock on these projects. Like, the entire market across the board for altcoins, for gaming altcoins, is down. So we've seen retracements in a lot of these projects, and I do expect them to go back up. Now, if you rather play a mobile game, one that I would suggest checking out is Age of Dino. There's only 2 weeks left for their campaign, but if you've been following my whole airdrop farming, one that we did was Palio, which got you access to the Exterio airdrop, because you are going to be able to trade in your Palio points for the extra token. And the same thing is happening here with Age of Dino. So if you're bullish on Exterio, which I am, I do believe that token is going to perform incredibly well. It's definitely worth checking out the Age of Dino game in order to farm that token. As for the real airdrops, which I call them, I believe things like ZK Sync and Layer 0 are coming very soon, sometime during the month of May, and that is going to be a great liquidity injection into the market. If you haven't been farming them, I don't think it's worth farming them at all now, because these snapshots have already been taken. It typically requires multiple months of transaction volume in order to qualify. But I'll definitely work on future videos for things that you could be grinding for an airdrop. I did drop one on Linea, which I'm still farming for Linea. I am bullish on that one. I do think the airdrop is going to be good. And another one that I just started farming is the blast farming for both points and gold. I know I'm a little bit late to the party for this one. I really avoided it at first, but I don't know, I've cracked, and I do think the airdrop is going to be really good. So I have been farming it. I will make a dedicated video for you guys on how I'm farming blast gold. I do want to get a bit more experience with it before, you know, giving you guys advice on how I'm farming. I could just tell you what I'm doing. That way, you know, you at least have an idea. But I do believe the airdrop, or at least the first part of the airdrop, because it's going to be multiple airdrops. You know, knowing Pac-Man, he always does that, right? He holds us hostage, or we can't get our money out, or you want to keep farming. So I do think we still have a lot of time, but for the time being, just go to the Blast website, scroll down, and interact with the ones that you like. Like if you want to do perp dexes, or if you want to do like NFTs and gaming, right? Pick the ones that you like, which is, I've just been pretty much exploring them all and seeing how easy it is, which ones are passive, which ones are active. I've been losing money on YOLO Games, which is a casino, right? The ones that I find fun. So like I said, I will have a video on Blast for you guys. I will make more farming videos because I know you guys like those. And like I said, for the time being, NFTs are really boring. I still will have NFT videos in the future, but for the time being, like there's really nothing out there that I feel is worth talking about in a lot of detail that I can't just tweet about or whatever. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, would you kindly hit that subscribe button? It really helps my channel reach a wider audience. Also hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Thank you for watching the Crypto Gorilla. Peace.